Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 10, entitled as Vibhuti Yoga. Sloka 42, Part 2. Atha bahunaitena jñātena tavārjuna viṣṭabhyāham idaṁ kṛtsnam ekāṁśena sthito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. In the last session, we understood the deeper meaning of what Krishna is trying to say here when he says, what is the use of knowing all these things? Certainly there is a higher use, higher purpose, but which cannot be fully detailed out. Therefore, by knowing little bit, one should develop that mood of understanding the rest of the thing. By applying the principles that we learned so far in anything and everything that we see or we hear, that it is all Krishna's vibhuti, Krishna's opulence. It's all Krishna's energy. Krishna present in each and everything, whether moving or not moving. Krishna is present in matter as well as in spirit. That is in achit and chit as well. And Krishna is present in those things we are able to see and those things we are not able to see. All these things are Krishna's energy. Krishna manifests in these different ways through his energy. The world is filled with those things which has intelligence and those things which doesn't have intelligence. Those things which are conscious being, those things which are unconscious, doesn't have consciousness. The world has things like pot, cloth, etc., which are created things, and also the world has things like clay and thread that are used for creating things like pot and cloth. So we have both created and those things which are used for creating. The world also has subtle elements like wind and gross elements like fire, water, earth, where it can be perceived, seen. All these comes into existence. All this stays for some time and maintained, and they dissolve. And Krishna says, I do this just by an infinitesimal fragment of my power, unlimited power, the ruling power. I keep them all under my will, sankalpa. I stand within them. I hold them, not just simply stand. I become adhara, base for them. I hold them. Not only that, I also rule over them as a controller. They are connected to me like how a body is connected to the atma, as I dwell within them as antaratma, the super soul. Everything comes from Krishna, everything is maintained by Krishna, and everything goes back to Krishna. All these are enforced simply by the eternal will of the Lord. And what we have been amazed by hearing so far in this chapter, it is just simply a single fragment of Krishna's will. There is nothing that can go against Krishna's will. Therefore, when Krishna says, jñātena tavārjuna, what is the need of knowing these things? We should know that just by an infinitesimal fraction of his will, he is able to stand pervading the entire universe by sustaining it and by controlling them. Therefore, even to understand this fragment of Krishna's power, his will, it's not going to be completely possible. We can only be amazed and appreciate Krishna's supremacy. And we take an humble position that what we know is little, fraction of fraction. Even that is not complete. Now we just have one question that has to be addressed. In 19th Sloka of this chapter, Krishna clearly defined to Arjuna what he is going to speak. There he said, pradhānyatah kuru shreshta. I'm going to tell you those things which are principal, which are great and special. And within those great groups of things, I will pick that is greater within that group. So it is clear that Krishna spoke in those 19 slokas all great personalities, qualities, and many things which are all principal by itself, prominent ones. And also in 41st sloka, whatever is not been mentioned, those things which are great, are all covered in 41st sloka. With that, we can understand that all the great things, principal ones, special ones, they are all Krishna's vibhuti, Krishna's opulences. Then that opens up the question, what about those things which are not great, which are not principal ones, which are not special? Whose opulences are they? So, Krishna, you mentioned among 12 Adityas, you are Vishnu. What about rest of them? There are 11 more left without addressing. Among the radiant, you said you are sun. What about those things which are not luminant? Among 49 maruts, you said you are Marichi. What about rest of the 48 maruts? Among the stars, you said you are Chandra, the moon god. What about the 27 nakshatras like Revati, Rohini, Bharani, Ashwini, Swati, and so forth? Among Vedas, you said you are Samaveda. What about Rig, Yajur, Atharvana Vedas? And within Samaveda, you said Brihat Sama. Then what about Ratantara Sama? Among the Devatas who live in heaven, you said you are Indra. What about other Devatas? There are millions of them who live there. Among the senses, you said the chief one, the mind. Then what about Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas? Among the running water, you said you are Ganga. Then what about Yamuna, Kaveri, Narmada, Sindhu, Godavari, Nile River, Missouri River, Mississippi River, etc.? Among the trees, you said you are banyan tree. Then what about apple tree, mango tree, jackfruit tree? What about them? Among fishes, you said you are shark. What about starfish, crab, octopus, jellyfish, dolphin? Whose opulences are they? Among beasts, you said you are lion. Then what about tiger, bear and other beasts? Among birds, you said you are Garuda. Then what about crow, sparrow? Among snakes, you said Vasuki and Ananta. What about worms? Not only that, Krishna, you said you are fame, fortune, memory, fine speech, patience, etc. Then what about defame, misfortune, loss of memory, impatience, etc.? So we can go on with this list, but we get an idea about the question that's been raised. Krishna spoke about great things only. What about those things which are not great? Whom does those things belong to? Who is the ruler of those things? Who dwells within them? Who is adhara, base for them? Under whose will they function? The simple answer, one word answer is Krishna. Everything is Krishna's vibhuti. Let it be great or not great. Let it be special or not special. Let it be higher or be lower. It's all Krishna's vibhuti. There is nothing that exists or will come into existence which are not Krishna's opulence, Krishna's energy. Everything is under Krishna's will. A person who knows this sees Krishna in everything, whether it is great or not, whether it is higher or lower, whether it is good or bad, whether it is fortune or misfortune. In this way, one's bhakti increases towards Krishna. One's mind becomes always remembering Krishna. One becomes fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. In the 41st sloka, that is the previous sloka, Krishna said, Srimad Urjitam Evava. Anything that are prosperous, beautiful, glorious, good, great in this world are all my manifestation. Over here in this sloka, Krishna mentions those which are not so are also his manifestation. Many times people ask why bad things are happening in this world when God is there. But the point is, they are failing to understand that there are a lot of good things happening as well. In fact, compared to the bad things, bad events, it is more of good events that happens in the world, even individually for people or as collectively to the world. By the newspapers and medias, mostly they project those few bad events to be the big events. If they have to include all the good things happening in the world, and newspaper will not be of 10 pages. They have to write a book every single day because there are a lot of good things happening. Even our own mind, when there are so many good events and good people and good things happens in our personal life, the mind always pulls us to focus only on few, even one or two bad things or unfavorable people, difficult people, rather than focusing on those who are favorable, those who are great, and those who want our friendship. One great person said, "You get more of whatever you focus on." So, more we focus on good people, good things, with all the good resources that we have, lives become good, glorious, rather than being depressed, disturbed by just few bad events happens in our life. So, it is true, good thing happens and bad thing happens. Both are Krishna's manifestation. The good thing happens due to Krishna's compassion and mercy towards us, which are great in numbers, and the bad thing happens simply due to our own karma, which are also manifestation of Krishna. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam that tattenu kampam susamikshamano punjana evatma kritam vipakam ridvak vapurbir vidadam namaste jivetayo mukti padesa daya bhak. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your costless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So here we see that whatever good things happens, he feels that it's all because of God's grace. And whatever bad things happens in his life, he understands he is going through the suffering of his past misdeeds. To conclude, Krishna said, there are a lot more to know. What I've told is a fragment of it. Therefore, if you know everything is my manifestation, which comprises of both sentient and non-sentient entities, whether it is in a manifested state or in unmanifested state, they all are my subservient. Their existence, their activities, everything is under my will. With an infinitesimal fraction of my will, I keep them all under my control, such that nothing violates my will. Atha bahunaitena jñātena tavārjuna viṣṭabhyāham idaṁ kṛtsnam ekāṁśena sthito jagat. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gītāsu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyāyam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dasamodhyāyah. Namaste. Hare Krishna.